You only need 5 bodyweight exercises to build a bigger, stronger, more shredded physique without ever having to step foot in a gym or even lift a single weight. And most of you probably already know what they are. Pull-ups, push-ups, dips, handstand push-ups, and pistol squats. So if that's all you wanted to hear, you can go ahead and click off this video right now. But wait, most of you already knew these exercises and you're still not jacked.
Most people just end up doing a bunch of random exercises that change every week without ever getting strong enough at any of them to actually create a real progressive overload to see results. But when you only need to focus on a few, it's way easier to track your progress, progressively overload, and actually build real strength and muscle. And while you don't have to train like this to get jacked, this is perfect for anyone who wants to maximize their time, doesn't have a gym, or just wants the simplest way to build a physique that actually looks strong and is strong.
Now, I'm not gonna go through every progression for these exercises today because I've already made dedicated videos many times, but I will link them down below if you need access to them and you happen to be on that journey to unlock them yourself.
And most of you who've been watching this channel already know them, but what you might not know is how much of your body weight these exercises are actually applying onto your muscles, and exactly how much work each muscle group is doing during each exercise. But once you understand that, you can structure your own training more effectively because you can start putting real numbers of weight to the resistance each exercise applies, instead of just guessing based on how hard they feel. And of course, you can download the Thenx app for free to get all the variations, progressions of these exercises, and so much more, like high-level calisthenic skills that work off these exercises like the planche push-up, 90-degree push-up, and one-arm pull-up to really take your physique and training to the next level.
So let's start with push-ups. Depending on the variation, they can place a wide range of resistance on the body.
From about 10% if you're standing close to a wall. So for a 170-pound person, that's only around 17 pounds. To near 100% if your feet are elevated high enough or completely off the ground, like in a planche push-up. But when your hands are elevated to about 45 degrees, you're only pressing about 40 to 50% of your body weight. So that same 175 pounds turns into roughly 68 to 85 pounds per rep, which is why elevated push-ups are such a useful starting variation. And of course, changing that angle will affect the amount of weight applied. More if your feet are higher and less if your hands are higher. But once you move to push-ups on the ground, you're pressing about 75% of your body weight. So now you're pushing about 128 pounds each rep. That would be like someone who weighs 170 pounds pressing 128 pounds, which might not sound like that much, but if you can do 40 or 50 push-ups in a row, imagine bench pressing 128 pounds for 40 or 50 reps straight, while also having to keep your core tight and your entire body engaged the whole time.
Now you already know the main muscles responsible during a push-up are the chest, triceps, and shoulders.
But when you break down how much each muscle group is actually helping, the chest will contribute around 45 to 55% of the force. The triceps assist at around 20 to 30%, and the front delts contribute about 15 to 25%, while the core and legs stabilize your body so you can keep a straight line.
Next are pull-ups, one of, if not the best, back exercise you can do.
If you're doing Australian rows at around a 45-degree angle, you're pulling about 50 to 65% of your body weight. So for a 170-pound person, that's roughly 85 to 110 pounds per rep, since your feet are still on the ground. And when you move to jumping negatives, the concentric part can range anywhere from about 5 to 70%, depending on how much you jump. So that could be as little as around 8 pounds or as much as about 120 pounds. While the eccentric portion is where it really counts, because now your back and arms are resisting close to 100% of your body weight. So basically the full 170 pounds on the way down.
And with perfect pull-ups, no momentum, full range of motion, you're pulling about 95 to 100% of your body weight, every rep.
So if someone weighs 170 pounds, you could compare it to a 161-pound lat pull down, except instead of sitting down in a machine, you're hanging from a bar carrying all your weight. Now for pull-ups, of course the lats are doing most of the work, contributing around 40 to 50% of the force, while the biceps assist with about 20 to 30%, the traps and rhomboids work at around 15 to 20%, the rear delts contribute around 5 to 10%, and the forearms assist with the rest while the core keeps your body stable and straight to avoid swinging.
Up next are dips. one of the most effective exercises for building upper body mass in your chest, triceps, and shoulders.
If you're doing bench dips, since your feet are still on the ground supporting some of your weight, your arms and chest are only pressing about 40 to 50% of your body weight. So for a 170-pound person, that's roughly 68 to 85 pounds, depending on how your legs are positioned and how far your feet are from your body.
Once you move on to dips with your feet elevated, your arms are pressing and supporting almost your entire body weight at around 90 to 100%.
So if someone weighs 170 pounds, that would be similar to pressing 161 pounds on a decline bench press. Now again, the chest is going to be worked the most with dips, contributing around 40 to 50% of the force, while the triceps assist with about 30 to 40% and the front delts at around 15 to 20%. The rest of the muscles around the shoulders help stabilize the joint, while the core keeps your body stable throughout the exercise.
Moving on to handstand push-ups. This move alone can give you roughly 80% of what you need for huge shoulders.
When you're doing pike push-ups with your feet on the ground, your arms and shoulders are usually pressing around 50 to 60% of your body weight. So for a 170-pound person, that's roughly 80 to 100 pounds, depending on how steep your body angle is. But when you elevate your feet, that number jumps to about 70 to 80%. So now you're pressing closer to 120 to 135 pounds as more of your body weight shifts over your hands. But when you move on to handstand push-ups against the wall, your shoulders are supporting and pressing almost your entire body weight vertically, somewhere around 90 to 95%, since having your feet on the wall slightly reduces the load. So if someone weighs 170 pounds, that would be similar to pressing somewhere around 153 pounds overhead. Except instead of standing under a bar and pressing it, you're upside down pressing yourself.
But when it comes to freestanding handstand push-ups, that number would be even closer to your body weight, around 95 to 100%.
So for someone who weighs 170 pounds, that would be similar to pressing roughly 162 pounds overhead completely upside down. As you know, the shoulders are working the most in a handstand push-up, with the front and lateral delts being responsible for 40 to 50% of the rep, while the triceps assist with about 25 to 35%. The upper chest also helps through the press, and of course the core and lower body are engaged to keep you in a straight vertical line.
And finally, we have the pistol squat, which takes care of the lower body and puts pretty much your entire body weight onto each leg individually.
If you're doing assisted pistol squats or controlled negatives, like sitting down into a chair below parallel or holding onto something for balance, your working leg is lifting about 60 to 80% of your body weight. So for a 170-pound person, that's roughly 100 to 135 pounds, depending on how much assistance you're using. But once you perform a full pistol squat with no support, each leg would be pressing about 85 to 95%. So someone weighing 170 pounds would be lifting roughly 150 pounds on each leg every rep. But when comparing this to a weighted exercise, this one has to be calculated a little differently than the exercises. Because with push-ups, pull-ups, or dips, the weighted versions isolate the muscles and add external resistance while removing your own body weight from the exercise. But with squats, even when you add weight to a barbell, your legs are still lifting your entire body weight along with the weight on the bar. So to make a fair comparison, you have to account for both. So if a 170-pound person is lifting about 150 pounds on each leg during a pistol squat, that would equal roughly 300 pounds of total load across two legs. But since your body already accounts for 170 pounds of that, the equivalent external weight added to a barbell would be about 135 pounds.
And that might not sound like that much compared to what people squat on a barbell, but the difference is that you're able to replicate this same type of resistance without needing a barbell or any weights at all.
And just because someone can squat 135 pounds doesn't automatically mean they can do pistol squats, because pistol squats require far more balance, mobility, and single leg control than a regular barbell squat. But if someone can perform full pistol squats with good control, they can almost certainly squat 135 pounds or more, because the strength requirement is already there. Now during pistol squats, the quads are producing most of the force, being responsible for about 45 to 55%. The glutes are covering around 30 to 40%, and the hamstrings are responsible for about 10 to 20%. The calves also help at around 5 to 10%, and your core, from your abs to your lower back, works to keep your body stable and balanced throughout the entire exercise.
Now to make sure you never plateau in calisthenics, whether you're just focusing on these 5 exercises or planning to do more, remember you can always keep increasing the difficulty by changing the tempo, adding pauses, increasing the explosiveness, adjusting the leverage, or moving into harder variations of the same exercise.
And if you want to see exactly how to use those methods to keep progressing, make sure you check out my video, Why Calisthenics Stops Working for Most People, where I break down exactly how to do that.
And if you need help with your training with programs built around these 5 exercises, having you progress onto the harder ones like the planche push-up, 90-degree handstand push-up, and even one-arm pull-ups, download the Thenx app in the App Store for free right now. And if you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate it if you smash that like button. It helps YouTube share our videos to more people out there. And leave a comment down below. Let me know what you want the next video or topic to be about. I'm reading all the comments in the comment section. Until then, make sure you're subscribed with bell notifications on so that you never miss out on a video. I post every Tuesday at 11 a.m. USA Eastern Time. Also, if you've ever wanted to work out with me live, we do that on the Thenx app now. So just download the Thenx app, you'll check out the schedule and see exactly what we'll be covering each session. See you there. Mad love. Peace out, baby.